about the strength work and the mobility. So while we're doing strength work, running, especially as we get deeper into it, running has a very high amount of eccentric loading on the body. So we talked about it a little bit in the gym, where when we're doing eccentrics, maybe strict pull-ups or slow tempo on the way down the squats, that's the part of the movement that breaks down the muscle tissue the most, which helps us rebuild stronger. But that being said, since there's so much eccentric load in running, there's a lot of muscle tissue breakdown during these runs. So the strength work is here to help maintain and even develop some more strength while we're breaking down all this muscle tissue. So the way I've developed the strength work, obviously the why is to keep us healthier. There's a lot of ankles, knees, hips, aches and pains in long distance runners. So we're trying to avoid those at all costs. So that's why we're doing the strength work. We'll be doing a lot of, this isn't on there, but the how is doing a lot of single leg work, a lot of like sled drags and different things like that, because they are restorative in nature. So the purpose of the strength work that's in there is to help you recover and to maintain your strength and build on that strength. So the sled drags is not like sled sprints necessarily like we've done in the class maybe, that don't feel restorative at all, but it'll be more of like a walking and a grinding pace that's more restorative in nature. And then some other single leg stuff, and then some lateral movements also. So running is very unilateral. We're always going in one direction. We're never going side to side, which puts us at a higher risk for injury just because we're not developing that balance between lateral movement and frontal movement. When to do this, the only thing I want to say about this right now, because we'll get into more detail later, is your most intense strength sessions, and you'll kind of see it when it's written, should be the farthest away from your longest run. So typically with our run programs, and we'll give you a kind of an ideal way to set it up, but typically you'll take your rest day after your longest run, and same goes for this. You don't want to have your most intense strength session right after your longest run, or even right before it necessarily. So kind of a 72-hour rule, 3 days or so, separate that most intense strength session and most intense or longest run, because putting those close together is going to blunt one or the other. So if you do the run first, it's going to blunt the strength work, and vice versa. Mobility and stretching. Obviously the reason we're doing this is to help with injury prevention. With runners, a lot of reasons they develop injuries is because they don't do this part of it. If you notice, one of the things that helps us stay healthy in CrossFit is we move through full ranges of motion. With runners, it's a pretty small range of motion that they're running in. It's right here, knees pretty much stand under the hip, so you're never getting that full range of motion in the hip or the knee or the ankle, any of that. So you're staying in that kind of shorter range of motion. So we need to stretch to keep that range of motion that we have. Static stretching should be done after the workouts. So after you finish your long run, after you finish your interval work, that's when the static stretching will be done. And again, we'll write this in the program. And then soft tissue work is also very important. This is lacrosse ball, foam roller, things like that. This can be done very lightly beforehand. You don't want it to be very intense, but it can be done very lightly beforehand if you know there's something that you need to work on. And it can also be massage. So it's a luxury expense, but the more often you can get to a massage, we have somebody that we use regularly who kind of knows what we do and understands us, and she's very good. But massage is good. We'll do most of the stuff that I'll give you, the exercises that I'll give you will be for the bottom of the foot, the calf, the Achilles, and the hamstring and things like that to help keep that part healthy. So that's kind of the why and how behind all that. Again, there'll be more detailed instruction on that in the future program.
Yeah, to sum it up, and having been through this program before, it might seem odd, especially if you've done some running before, to have strength work and running. Trust the process. If you can follow the programming to a T, follow it to a T. It's going to benefit you in ways that you just really don't even realize. And then the mobility and stretching, I can definitely tell you stay ahead of the game on this. If you get behind the 8 ball, it's very difficult and can cause you to maybe miss some workouts trying to get back ahead of it. So stay on top of it.